Today, we are diving into the first chapter of our web graphics programming series. By the end of this video, you will know how to set up a canvas element, draw your first shape, and understand the core foundation of the HTML canvas element and the Canvas 2D API. The canvas element is a rectangular surface with a default width and height of 300 by 150 pixels. On its own, it is just a blank slate. The pixels on a canvas element are controlled by JavaScript, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing. Okay, let's set up our very first HTML canvas element. I will start by creating index.html and writing a basic HTML structure. Inside the HTML body, I will write the canvas element. I am serving the page using live server. You can download it from the VS Code extension marketplace. Even though I have written the canvas element in the body, it seems like nothing happened. I will create style.css and give the canvas a border. Like I said previously, HTML canvas has a default width and height. We can change the canvas width and height using the HTML attribute width and height, or by calling the DOM element width and height property in JavaScript. The next thing we are going to do is link our JavaScript file. Make sure to add the diva attribute when you link JavaScript in the head. Inside the JavaScript file, I will get the canvas element. Getting a JavaScript element alone does nothing. We need an API or tools to draw something on the canvas, or the JavaScript DOM element by itself cannot do that. Let me introduce to a canvas method called getContext. With getContext, you can decide which API context you want to use: WebGL, WebGL2, or WebGPU for 3D graphics. It is like asking the canvas to give you the tools you need to start drawing. We are going to stick with 2D, which is what the video is all about. Once you call getContext with a specific type, the canvas is logged into the context. You cannot mix two contexts on the same canvas. If you want to do that, use two different canvases. We are going to use this context to perform all the drawing magic. It has multiple methods and properties for rendering shape, text, and image on a canvas element. The canvas works like a grid of pixels with an origin at x and y of 0, 0, starting at the top left corner of the canvas element. The x-axis is the distance from the left of the canvas. It increases to the right. The y-axis is the distance from the top of the canvas. Y increases downward, not upward. To draw our first shape, we are going to look at the method called fillRect. It takes 4 parameters x, y, width, and height. I will write fillRect to draw a rectangle on my canvas, giving it 20 pixels on both x and y and 100 pixels for the width and height. You can play with it as much as you want, changing its x and y value for its width and height. The canvas attribute size, whether set in HTML or changed with JavaScript, define the pixel resolution of the drawing surface. The CSS display size, which is the width and height, declare in the CSS, define how big the canvas appears on the screen, completely independent of the canvas attribute size. If these are not in sync, your drawing may appear bigger or blurry, or even smaller than expected. This is because the width and height defined by the attribute size are different from what appears on the screen, which is controlled by the CSS display size. Golden rule: keep your canvas attribute width and height in sync with the CSS display size. Let's say this in code. I will set the canvas CSS width and height to 1000 pixels. In the canvas attribute, I will reduce it to 50 by 50 pixels. You see what I'm talking about? The rectangle appears larger and blurry. You can play with it to understand the concept better. I'm going to show you how to make sure this doesn't happen and get the best pixel perfect resolution. To correctly scale the canvas element, you need to make sure the CSS display size matches the canvas attribute, and I'm going to show you how to do that. In the CSS, I will scale the canvas to take the full browser width and height and set the margin and padding to 0. I will also set box sizing to border box and overflow to edit. Then in JavaScript, I will write an event listener for mouse move. Inside it, I will write fillRect to draw a rectangle of 1 pixel wherever my goes on the canvas. When I move my mouse across the canvas, it is not drawing where my mouse actually is. This is because the CSS display size is scaling the canvas, causing a mismatch in the canvas element coordinate system. Okay, let's fix this. The first thing I will do is scale the canvas display width and height using a method called getContext. This returns details about the DOM element size. I will then set the canvas width and height to the value from getContext. This resolves the mismatch. It will now draw perfectly at the right coordinate and size. No matter what size you give your CSS, it will always match the canvas attribute. Even with matched CSS and attribute size, your canvas will look blurry on a retina screen. To fix that, there is a more advanced approach using the devicePixelRatio. Modern screen packs more physical pixels into the same CSS pixel space. A screen with devicePixelRatio equal to 2 has 2 physical pixels for every 1 CSS pixel. An 800 pixel canvas on a 2x screen needs to render as 1600 real pixels to stay sharp. I'm not going to write this live in the code, but I highly recommend making it a standard practice. This is how to fix it. First, get the display size using getContext, just like we did previously. Second, set the canvas attribute size equal to the display size multiplied by the device pixel ratio. Third, scale the drawing context by device pixel ratio using CTS of scale. This will give you a pixel perfect sharp image on any screen. With image render pixelated, you can tell the browser to render all canvas drawing with sharp pixelated edges, no blurriness. With all said and done, when drawing on canvas and you want perfectly script non-blurry images, you should pay careful attention to where you draw. Drawing at non-integer coordinates or on a boundary between two pixels triggers anti-aliasing. Because the browser cannot light up half a pixel, it plots across two adjacent pixels to simulate a fractional position. Golden rule: use integer for fill rectangle, use a 9.5 offset when you increase 1 pixel stroke. This is the last part of this video. We will wrap it up with all the basic rectangle method. Canvas Studio has 3 basic rectangle methods: the fillRect, strokeRect, and clearRect. All 3 take the same 4 parameters x, y, width, and height. Fillrect is used for drawing a solid filled rectangle, while strokeRect draws only the outline, no fill. clearRect erases the pixels that fall within the rectangle coordinate and size, making them fully transparent. Let's do something with this. I will draw a fill rectangle using fillRect and a rectangle outline beside it with the same size as the fillRect. I will erase the inside of the fill rectangle using clearRect. What I want to do now is place the strokeRect inside the fill rectangle. I will first move the clearRect above the strokeRect to avoid clearing it when they are in the same coordinate and size. I will then move the strokeRect to the same x and y coordinate as the fillRect and adjust the position and size to fit like this. It might be confusing how I get this section to fit one rectangle inside another. Let me give you a mental model. Imagine you will have a rectangle with x, y, width, and height. You want to fit another rectangle inside it, offset by a variable a. You first add a to both x and y to shift the starting point inward, but because increasing the x and y by a only moves the top left corner, you also need to shrink the width and height by a on the opposite side. That means you are subtracting a twice in total, so a from both width and height. And that is it for the introduction to Canvas 2D. Let's do a quick recap. Canvas element has default width and height of 350 pixels. You can set your own size. Use getContext for 2D, WebGL and WebGPU for GPU power context. Canvas has two separate sizes, attribute resolution and CSS precise. Keep them in sync. Floating point coding cause anti-aliasing edges. Use integers for fill and .5 offset for crisp one-pixel stroke when necessary. Use CSS image rendering pixelated for pixel art. On IDPI screen, use getBounding client rate, devicePixelRatio, and CTL.scale for script rendering. fillRect draw fill rectangle, stroke red draw rectangle outline, and clearRect erase pixels. In the next video, we are getting into part as is where Canvas Studio really start to get powerful. If this was helpful, drop a like. If anything wasn't clear, ask in the comments. I will do my best to respond as quickly as possible. See you in the next one.